Hey, what's up, yo everybody? So in the previous video we were able to install XAMPP server in our computer. So that means we were able to change our computer into a server, but this happens only when we run XAMPP, like XAMPP is running right now. So if you can see here, the status is saying stop. That means it's already running. So at this moment, when I hit my web browser, any web browser in this case, okay, and I type in localhost, I need the localhost, and my machine is the localhost. When I hit enter, I'm going to get this website. In the previous video, we were able to get this website, and also we were able to change this word to this. The XAMPP is successfully installed. Previously, the words were not as this. Okay, so that means your machine is a server right now. It is serving a website, and in 1 or 2 minutes I'm going to prove that to you. I'm going to call this very website using my Android device. Okay, so now we were able to see where this file was kept. Okay, inside our Windows C, inside XAMPP, and then inside our htdocs, inside the dashboard. Okay, this is where the file is. This file that we're seeing on the web browser is kept inside here, and this folder is very crucial because we're going to need it. Okay, everything inside this folder we're going to delete it, and then we start running our own PHP files, and then we'll be able to see its output inside this web browser. We'll also call it as localhost. Okay, so like I've said, let me hit my CMD right now, check for my IP configuration. Okay, so my IP address is 192.168. sorry, it's down here, 192.168.0.3. so I'm going to exit CMD. What I'm checking for my IP address is no, I don't need that. So I'm checking for my IP address because I have to connect to the same network that I am in right now. Okay, and then instead of calling localhost, because now my PC, I mean my phone is not a localhost in this case. Okay, instead of calling localhost, I'm going to call the IP address of my machine, and then I'll be able to see everything that I'm seeing on this web browser inside the browser of my machine. So let me take my Android phone. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to first connect to the same Wi-Fi network that my PC is connected in, and as you can see right here, right here, it is connected. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my web browser. Okay, and then in the address bar I'm going to type 192.168.0.103. so this is the IP address of my, oh sorry about that, it's the IP address of my machine. So let me open terminal again, and then I say IP config just to verify. Okay, so it's 192.168.0.103. so again, exit. As you can see here, it is the same thing. So when I hit enter on it, check what happens. Of course it will tell me the site is not secure. Okay, so let me just continue, and this is it. I can clearly see this same website inside my Android phone. So that's how fun this thing is. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is let me close this, close that. Okay, minimize my XAMPP. Okay, because now I'm clearing my screen because we want to start the real thing, the real PHP. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my C drive inside XAMPP, inside my htdocs. Now these files, I don't really need them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete them, and my folder is empty. Okay, so inside the URL I'm going to highlight that and then search for my CMD. So everything I write inside the CMD, I'm writing it inside the htdocs folder, as you can see the prompt right here. So I want to open my code editor, Studio Visual Code, with that folder. Okay, so that is it. You just say period space, and then you add in the period. Before I move for anything you write in the command line, it has to be correct. If you miss anything, you get an error. If I'd missed a space between E and the period sign, it wouldn't work. Okay, so right now in the background my code editor has opened. So what I have to do is I have to exit CMD. Okay, I have to exit cmd just like that, and then I'll be able to see my code editor right here. So my code editor is saying I'm having a folder in it already, htdocs, okay, but the folder has no files, okay, it's just empty, there are no files in it. Now when I come here and refresh my browser, there is nothing found because there is nothing inside our htdocs. We just deleted it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to open a new file. I'm going to call it echo_print.php. So what am I doing here? This is the very first PHP file that we are creating. So when you create a PHP file, it has to end with an extension of .php. So when I finish writing .php, you can see this icon change to an elephant, indicating that it is a PHP file. So let me hit enter on that. Okay, let me close all these notifications. I don't need them. Now create more space for it. Okay, zoom a little bit so that you can see. Just like HTML, PHP also has an opening tag and a closing tag. So when you want to open up the tag for PHP, you can start with the lesser than sign, question mark, and then PHP. So when you're closing the PHP, you start with the question mark and then the greater than sign. Okay, so anything that goes in here, PHP interprets it as PHP codes. Okay, but there's several instances whereby you don't really need to close the tag for PHP after opening the PHP tag. Why? Because when you've closed the tag like this and then you write something, maybe anything, out of the closing tag like this, you save the code, you try running it, you're going to get whatever thing that you've written out here, and it will also be displayed out here. Okay, this can clutter up your website if you're not so careful with it. So what I really recommend is not closing this tag. That is if your PHP file, in this case this file, is entirely a PHP file and the PHP code is not embedded inside of an HTML file. Okay, but when your PHP code is embedded inside of your HTML file, then you really need to reconsider opening the tag and also closing the tag. But when you don't close the tag like this, it is much better, because when you save this and then you try running it, you're going to get an error. Okay, but don't forget, this only applies when your file is just plainly a PHP file and it contains only PHP codes. Okay, so done with that. We're not going to also close ours. Okay, we're going to save that, we're going to leave it blank. Okay, this is a good practice that you should be doing right now. Okay, now in PHP there are two ways to output anything to the screen. So the one way that you can use is called the echo statement. The echo statement can output one or more strings. Okay, in general terms, the echo statement can display anything that can be displayed to the browser. It could be a string, or maybe numbers, or maybe variable values, or the results of an expression. So when I create a variable here and say name equals to KnDjoshua, so this name can equal to your name, no problem with it. Okay, so and then I say echo. Now this word echo is a little bit tricky. It's not a function, but it is a language construct. Okay, so you can either use it with parentheses like this, but also you can use it without the parentheses. So I want to echo out the variable called name. Okay, save that. So inside here, this screen, what could be the output? Yeah, the output is not going to be the variable name, but the output is going to be what the variable name in line 2 is holding. In this case, we are assigning this variable, we are giving it something, and that something is called KnDjoshua. Okay, so when we save this, we expect that KnDjoshua should be written out to the screen, and it is right here, and it's what we really wanted. But before I go so far, let me first explain what is happening in line 2. Okay, in line 2 we have created a variable. I'm going to talk more about variable. Okay, so we created a variable called name. Okay, now that variable, we are saying we're giving it an assignment. This is an assignment operator. We're saying variable name, you have what they call KnDjoshua, and in this case KnDjoshua is a string. Okay, because it is enclosed between quotes, double quotes, and then it's followed by a semicolon. In PHP, any lines of code that you write, it should be ending with a semicolon. If you don't end it with a semicolon, you try running it, you're going to get an error. That's the syntax of PHP. Any line of code that you write, it should end with a semicolon right there. So that's how things work in PHP. So the echo word can be able to print out the variable values, it can be able to print out the results of an expression. Let me say I create another variable here called first name. No, let's let it be first number, okay, is equal to 40, okay. Don't forget with the semicolon. And then I create another variable here, and then I say maybe second number right here is equal to 20, my semicolon. And then I want to evaluate these expressions, okay. I want to say variable total is equal to variable first number plus variable second number, just like that, okay. So I come down here, I can echo the variable total. I can echo the variable total right here. You save that, and then the output of the code is going to be 60 as expected, because if you add 40 plus 20, you're going to get 60, okay. So that's how echo language construct works. You can basically output anything to the screen using your echo command language function, anything. It's a language construct, okay. So echo can also be able to print out an HTML element. So in this case, let me first echo something, an HTML element called break, because I want to get a line break right somewhere here. So when I save that, I want to echo out another HTML element. I want to say I want to echo out my heading 1, okay. So I'm going to say I am heading 1, just like that, and then I'm going to close my heading 1, and then don't forget with your semicolon, save that, you run it. So you see what's happening right here. I echoed a line break, that's why I'm getting a line break right here. So 60 is up, then I am heading 1 is down, okay. So you can go on with your normal HTML stylings. You can say style equals to, let's say I want to change the color of that HTML element, my heading 1, I want to make the color red, okay. So when I save that, I come here, run it, you can see that the color of the HTML element has changed into red. Now you can use this echo command to display variables, okay. I'm going to create several variables right here, but after that, let me first copy that let me first copy the line break and put it right here. I'm going to create several variables again. I'm going to create a variable called hello, okay, and the variable is going to contain this text, hello world, something I've heard of multiple times. And then I'm also going to create another variable for number, okay. I'm going to create the variable for number like this, save that. I'm also going to create another variable. I'm going to create the variable called colors, and then that variable colors will be equal to an array, okay. An array is a function, so inside that function I'm going to specify the colors. I'm going to say color red, and then I'm going to give another color green. I'm going to give another color called blue. What other color should I put in there? Guess what? I'm going to add in yellow, just like that. So using my echo word, I'm going to be able to print out all these statements. So I'm going to echo number 1. I'm going to echo this variable called hello, just like that. Don't forget with the semicolon. I'm going to echo the variable called let's see the variable name, the variable called number right here, and then I'm going to echo my array right here. It's called the variable color right here, but then I'm going to pass something inside this because it is an array with this square brackets. I want to echo out the array in position 2, okay. So when I save that, I'm going to run it. As you can see, everything is just messy, it's just running around everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another this break tag. So I'm going to copy that, paste it here so the code looks nicer, paste it there again, save that, you run it, and then you can see the output right here. So when we echoed out this hello, it should bring us hello world, and we're saying hello world here. Then we echoed out the number variable, and we're saying the number variable right here. We echoed out an array in the place of 2, so this is 0 1 2. Array start counting with 0, it doesn't start on 1. So 0 1 2, and we are seeing blue painted out right here. So that is it about about PHP. So let's select all this echo. Okay, I'm using Alt and then I'm double clicking on the echo to create multiple cursor. So I'm going to change this into print. Save that, come and run. You can see, okay, save that, come on, run here. You can see that the code remains the same. So PHP print and echo all works the same way. So but there is one difference I want to point out with print and echo. So I'm going to echo print, echo print variable total. I expect to print out 60 on the screen again right here, but after putting this line break, you save it, you run it, you can see oh, there's a misspelling here. Save that, run again. You can see that there is this 1. Okay, so print has a return value of 1, so it's rarely used. I don't really like using print, so I advise you to always use the echo language construct right here. Okay, so let me explain something more about variables. As we were writing this code, these 20 lines of codes, I was speaking about things like variables, a variable name, $, and stuff like that. So let me clear this screen, save it, and then rerun it from the browser, so I get a blank screen. So a variable is used to store data. It's like a space that you create in memory. You create it by telling the memory the name of the space and then assigning something to the space. So you could create a variable like this. Name is equal to maybe let's say I want my name to be equal to Alex right here. So I'm telling my memory that you create for me a space. Okay, give a name to the space. The name of the space is called name, and inside that space called name we want to put in something called Alex. Okay, now in this case Alex is a string right here, and Alex is enclosed between quotation marks. So a variable value can change over time. So when I come down here and echo let me echo the variable name right here. Okay, echo the variable name right here, save it. I expect to see Alex on the screen, and that is it. It's really correct. Okay, so let me add in something here called break, save it and run it. But why I'm saying that a variable value can change over time is when I come down here in line 4, I'm creating the same variable called name, and then I give it a new name. Maybe I give it a new name like John, somewhere here like this. Save that, and then come down here and echo the variable name again. You will be able to see that I am having John on the screen this time, and it's really not Alex. Okay, so the variable values can always change. Now there are some tough rules that you really need to follow when you are creating your variables. Number one, all variables in PHP starts with a $sign. This is the $sign. If your variable is not starting with a $sign right here, it's already giving us a red flag, red underline. Okay, so PHP no longer knows what is happening in line 2. So if it's a variable, then it has to start with a $sign. So every time you're creating a variable, just get used to pressing your shift and then pressing your number 4 to get the $sign. So variable name start with $sign, and also a variable name must start with a letter or an underscore. So your variable name can never start with the number 2 right here. Okay, red flag already, red underline. That is already something different. When you save, you try running it, you get a parse error, syntax error, unexpected integer 3, which PHP doesn't know where that 3 is coming from. So a variable name doesn't start with a number, but you can include a number in it, but that means you're not going to start with a number, you have to start with an underscore. Okay, so a variable name cannot start with a number. Okay, a variable in PHP starts with a $sign. Okay, a variable name must start with a letter or an underscore. In this case there is 3, but we started with an underscore. And a variable name in PHP can only contain alphanumeric characters, an underscore. It could contain A to Z, capital A, or maybe small a, or anything. But then it can also contain 0 to 1 and then an underscore. And another thing that I shouldn't forget, naming conventions of variables are case sensitive. When you put capital name right here, you save it, you try running it, you can also see that there is something undefined in line 3 here. You're echoing name, but this is name, this is also name, but because this name is having a capital N, this is having a small n, PHP doesn't know it, so it is case sensitive. Until you change it into capital N, just when PHP will be able to print it out up to the screen.